Financial expert and CPA Dan Geltrude joins me now with how long we can expect this boost to last. You know, Dan, when you think about a vaccine, a possible cure, the stock market's going to react the same we do, which is positively.
Yeah, and the stock market is all about positive news and, more importantly, the certainty of the news. So what we're seeing now is the possibility of people going back to work, businesses not having to fear lockdowns. And because of that, we are looking at some pretty good sailing ahead. So I think there's every reason to be positive that what we saw going on prior to the pandemic, when we saw the Dow getting closer and closer to that 30,000 mark, I think we could absolutely surpass that once we have this vaccine in distribution.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing is it was sort of a role reversal where quarantine stocks that were soaring through the pandemic, they dropped yesterday. Zoom, Peloton, Netflix, all down.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how tech, which the market has really been relying on up to this point, take a little bit of a step back, because the thought process here is that when people are able to go back to normal, whatever that looks like, they're going to have the ability to get out of their house once again and want to go back perhaps into the office at least a couple days a week, not every day of being home, just to get a change of scenery, right? So the impact of that is we could see people using technology a little bit less.
Yeah. You know, President Trump posted a tweet yesterday saying stock market up big, vaccine coming soon, reported 90% effective. Such great news. The timing of this news is interesting. You know, from a political perspective, you have to think, if this came out a week ago or 2 weeks ago, could that have impacted the presidential election?
I think it could have. I really think that this type of news, when we were looking at what was happening and taking a look at polling to the extent we could rely upon that at all, it seemed that the big issue out there for the election was what was going on with COVID. So if this news had broken earlier than it did, it may very well have changed some voting. And because this election is so close, it could have actually changed the outcome, or what we think the outcome is right now. No question about it.
Yeah. Meantime, President-elect Biden says that the only people who are going to see taxes raised are folks making over $400,000 a year. But you say that's not true. Why?
No, that's not true, because what's going to happen here is it depends how you want to look at the term tax. And I say anything that is going to limit your take-home pay, you can qualify as a tax. So, for example, Joe Biden wants to raise taxes on corporations from 21% to 28%. Ultimately, corporations are going to look to cut costs because they have to preserve that bottom line. So we are going to see people perhaps losing their job, being cut back on hours, being cut back on their benefits. That's the type of trickle-down impact that tax increases are going to have.
Yeah.
Not to mention, when you say you're only going to increase taxes on those that are making above $400,000, it's simply not feasible when you look at the type of spending that Joe Biden is talking about. You can't, the numbers don't add up, Carly. It's just that simple.
You said it. You know, Joe Biden has a plan to make college free for anybody who, any family that's making less than $125,000 a year. And of course, free isn't ever really free. Dan, thanks so much. We appreciate you coming on.